All right, welcome, Henry. Thank you for coming back to the Be the One podcast.
Thank you, Avery.
Yeah, so it's a little different now than it was in March.
That seems like years ago.
I know. I'm sure it does. There's been a lot of life since then.
There has.
So are you feeling settled in?
No. And not for the reasons you think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that settled in, that term, as I think about it, really, I think if I'm settled in, I think people will be able to know the words that are going to come out of my mouth.
Right.
They'll be able to, right now people still don't know me yet,
Mm-hmm.
and people still, and I don't know everybody here yet.
Right.
And so that could be years. I mean,
Right.
in some respects before you're fully settled in. And also, I don't know that I ever want to feel totally settled, because that also feels like I'm relaxing, and
Right.
that's not.
I agree.
For me, this is just a really exciting and fun-filled adventure.
Yeah.
And it's been really fulfilling. And so
Good.
yeah, I mean, I think probably what you were asking was not that, but I mean, our family and I are feeling settled, and I'm
Good.
feeling settled as far as, the professional side of things, but I don't know that I want to be settled just yet in terms of where I am in the arc of my journey here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I appreciate that. You don't want to get too comfortable.
That's right.
And we say all the time, I'm sure you already agree, no day is the same. Every day is different here. So you just never know what to expect.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yes.
But you're enjoying the role?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
I was texting with my successor at my previous school maybe a week ago, and he sort of asked me that question, "How's it been?" And I said, it's been good. I said, I'm the wrong person to ask that question to, but also that I think that my mentors in my life have really prepared me well for this.
Good.
And so I feel like there's not a whole lot that could catch me off guard. That now, I'm sure 10 minutes from now something will, but I feel very prepared, and I felt very very ready to do this job. But the job itself is just, I thought I really enjoyed being a division head, and I did, but I so much more enjoy being a head because of the variety of work that I'm doing. I'm reading to kindergartners, and I'm going out to lunch with just a variety of folks and learning so much about the history of the school, and I'm popping into classrooms, and I'm seeing musicals, and I'm lighting fires, and I'm doing all sorts of stuff, and literally lighting fires, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, it's just such a wide variety of work that I'm doing. It's just it never gets old, and it never gets boring either, which is just exactly what I signed up for.
Good. I'm so glad. So you're enjoying being part of the Brookstone family.
Oh, no doubt.
Learning more about it.
You mean that just the family piece is, in the last 3 weeks, we had a really awesome middle school musical.
Yes,
Finding Nemo, which I think was near capacity for 3 straight shows.
Yep.
And family was there, but friends and other members of the community who had no connection to that came to see it.
Right.
We did an evening at St. Luke in as sort of for the 8th graders there to think about the next step, and walking into that room and seeing all the schools there. And this is no disrespect to anybody else, but all of a sudden the Brookstone school was like a bright, sparkly light that just was amazing. And the number of people we had there, and the joy and energy that came from that table was just really heartening.
That's awesome.
And then we had the Cougar Cup on Tuesday, and boy, what a great event. I was there from 7:45 in the morning till 7:45 in the evening, but enjoyed every minute of it. What a great community event that was. And
yes, for sure.
And then just last night, I know that by the time this airs, that we'll know the results of Friday night tonight's game.
Yes, we will.
And fingers crossed. But but as far as last night goes, the bonfire, and the energy and the enthusiasm in the community piece of it was just overwhelming. It's been fantastic to be a part of this family.
Good. I'm so glad. Yeah, we've had a busy fall, and it really is fun. Like events like last night when it's the whole school and you just see everybody there and everybody having fun from the oldest to the youngest and the parents. It's just really fun. One of the things I love about being here. For sure.
It's unmatched.
Yeah, yeah. And lighting the black roses was just, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but it was really cool.
Did I
way
do
to start
right?
the fire. I think you did it perfectly. Yes.
There wasn't a playbook, so I just decided to do it until Swift said, it's burning my hand. I said, okay, you can throw it on the fire now.
That's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah.
So, well, so I know you've seen a lot of things that we just talked about. Has there been anything that like really impressed you that you just really love about us as a school? Besides all the things you just listed.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, like, the list could go on and on. I mean, I'm obviously impressed with sort of the typical things, the campus, the facilities, the teachers, the coaches, the kids. I mean, those are all impressive. My colleagues. But I tell you, the thing that probably has been the most impressive part of this experience so far is the people that I've sat with and learned about their experience here.
Yeah.
I've sat with current parents, past parents, current grandparents, past grandparents, alums, former faculty, and those meetings have been scheduled for an hour, and there's not one that's finished at that point. They've all gone long, and it's been. I mean, what's impressed me most is the how much people love this place.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that is just
that's awesome.
I can't. I walk away from every one of those meetings having learned a lot about the school and from a perspective I had not heard before, but also just with a deep appreciation for the impact it's had on their lives and the love that they have for it and it wasn't always perfect.
Right.
But the appreciation for the experience is really palpable.
That's great.
In those conversations. So I think that's probably what's impressed me most.
I love that because there are so many people that just love this place so much. And like you
One
said,
of them sitting right across from me.
I know, I do. I love it so much. And like you said, it's not a perfect school. No family is perfect, but boy, it is just a really special place and the impact it's had on so many people for so many decades. It's just really special.
That's right.
So, I hold it near and dear to my heart for sure. Okay. So one of the things I love most is being a Brookstone parent and seeing the school through the eyes of my children. And you are getting that opportunity as well. So tell me, what has it been like to be a Brookstone parent and how are your kids?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that. They're great. I'll start with that. So what I've learned is that until you're in 8th grade, the panini machine is off limits. And so, so whenever I show up in the cafeteria, one of my children happens to be in there, I get bombarded to make paninis. So that's been a really nice part of it.
Yes.
But joking aside, I mean, our kids are in 7th, 5th, and 2nd, and all are having really different but equally rewarding experiences here.
Yes.
They've all found their group, which is fantastic. But also they're all engaged really fully, both during school and after school. All of them are play sports, and all of them have found their sport, and they're fully engaged in that. So, as we all know, busy children are much more manageable children. So that's been great for them.
Good.
There was certainly a part of this experience where we know people were being very intentionally welcoming, and that was an amazing part of the onboarding. But at this point now, I think that's settled a little bit, and now the kids have found their friends and those people they connect with the most, and that really for me, education is important,
right?
Don't misunderstand, but really their happiness is what matters most to me, and they are all in a really good place.
That's good. That's great. And no, I've seen some pictures of you being able to be in their class and read in their class, and that's really fun too.
I get to coach I'm getting to coach my son outside of school, and maybe get to coach my daughter in basketball this winter. We'll see. But but I mean, just to be able to do that and to be able to connect with the community in a different way has been really important to me. I mean, I'm an assistant. I'm nobody out there, and I'm an assistant coach, and I don't even get to coach in the base paths. I just sit in the dugout and tell the kids to sit down and cheer for their teammates. But that's been a really rewarding part of this experience too.
Well, good. Well, good. So moving from Dallas, are y'all enjoying Columbus? I mean, and being here?
It's funny. I mean, I think people think in Dallas we were just cosmopolitan folks.
I know, seriously. Just the name Dallas makes it seem that way.
I think I never went to the Dallas Zoo. Actually, we went to the aquarium in Dallas the first week we were there and never went back. We did go to some Cowboys games and some Rangers games and things like that, but we really didn't do as much as we probably could or should have. But we love to go out and eat, and so as I've learned, that's been a very much similar situation here in Columbus. The food is outstanding, and
I'm so glad.
And so we found, we love going out to dinner, and now probably see more folks out at dinner here in Columbus than I saw in Dallas. We did have certain places in Dallas where we went that we would run into a lot of people, but definitely here, I'm still not quite used to the fact that I walk into a restaurant and see lots of familiar faces, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a great part of being a part of this community.
It is. Oh, it is. That will happen without fail. There's not a lot of anonymity here. It's too small of a town. And even though it's not a small town, it is a small town, but you will rarely go someplace that you do not see somebody that you know for sure.
Yes, no question about it.
Well, and I know you've been eating out a lot for lunch and meeting people, which I think is fantastic because that's the best way to get connected and, like you said, learn all the stories and the history. So where are some of the places you've been that have been unusual, or some of the ones you've liked the most?
So I mean, I think there's two groups of folks who have taken me out to lunch. There's the group that likes to go and really to eat great food and sort of award-winning food, I should say. Even that may not be the right term, but so places like Black Cow and Animal Farm have been fantastic
so
in that.
So good.
But then those folks who want to show me like the old Columbus stuff. And so I've been to Smoky Pig and Macon Road Barbecue.
Yes.
And I wore that for about a week. I smelled like Macon Road for a few days. But anyway, it was awesome. It's been great to do both of those things. And to experience that. And and what's exciting about today, you may not know this, Avery, is that our entire the Heil crew is after school today, all zipping down to Highside Market because Witt's frozen custard is opening there.
Oh my goodness!
And
I did not know this.
Witt's is a Heil family favorite that that is located in a couple places around the country and is now open here. And so
that's huge.
Yeah, I don't work for them. I'm not making any money on that, but trust me, it's good.
That's exciting. That thrills me because I wasn't sure if anything was really opening and getting going quite yet there, and I'm so thrilled to hear that. We were just talking about Highside last night,
that's right.
because I think it's one of the greatest things that's going to happen in downtown
we're
Columbus.
excited for the whole thing to be open, but
exactly.
It's a good start to get Witt's.
Yay! Oh, I cannot wait. We're going to put that on our list as well.
You should.
Good. Okay, so shifting to something more serious. Next week is National School Safety Week.
Yes.
That's something that has been on a lot of people's minds. That's something we've talked a lot about here even this year. So share with us. I know you've shared with parents some of the things we're doing, but kind of some of the security things that we're going to be putting into place.
Yeah. So we budgeted this year, over the summer, we budgeted a good chunk of money to do some sort of basic things that needed to be done. We needed to improve our security camera system, which our contractor ACOM has been doing, and actually maybe finished. The lower school at least is done. They're upgrading the whole campus, but that's ongoing work.
That's great.
The next thing will be to put card access on doors, on all exterior doors around campus. Not all exterior doors, the primary exterior doors that we access.
Right.
There'll be some that just remain locked all the time.
Right.
But that's the next step. And then in addition, putting some I don't know if the right term is reflective film on windows at the lower school, windows and doors on the lower school, and in addition on the intermediate school. We when I talked about security with one of the coffees, I think it was intermediate school coffee.
Yes.
There was a huge groundswell of interest from parents in supporting some things that we couldn't budget for this year.
Right.
And so, thanks to some really motivated parents, we had a pretty significant pledge of money, and most of it's in hand, to add a sheriff.
That's great.
So we went from starting the year with one sheriff on campus all day. Now we have two sheriffs on campus all day, which I think optically has been noticeable,
right?
And people feel good about it.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing that we've been able to do with that additional money was to upgrade the quality of the film that we're putting on the windows. And this is really just I can't think of a better way to talk about it. And it's just I just need to be very blunt about it. Really, this is it's reflective, so you can't see in. That's one aspect of it, but it's also prevents entry into a building. It can prevent entry, and the level 1 film that we were going to get would prevent entry for a period of time. The level 2 that we're now able to add is delays that entry longer.
Yes.
So we felt like that was important, and the parents felt like that was important, and so we're very grateful.
Right.
There's some things we still need to do, and part of that is we still have to have a lot of conversations. I still don't know that I have the full pulse of the community on this.
Right.
But we don't have controlled access to campus.
Right.
And that includes, we don't have perimeter fencing. We don't have gated entrances.
Exactly.
So so there's lots of things we still have to consider that are going to be high. That are going to be a cost.
Yeah.
But likely will be really important in making sure that our kids, particularly once they're here on the campus, feel really safe. And, we don't want them just to feel safe inside a building. We'd love for them to feel safe no matter where they are here and on campus. And so my goal is to make us the most secure, but also the most free campus in town, and so kids can walk around and feel really comfortable, and parents will feel comfortable with that as well.
Right. It is a balance for sure. But when we have students come and visit and tour the campus for the first time, first of all, everybody's amazed at how beautiful it is. But everybody comments on the freedom that we allow our students to have, and I think that just goes back to the trust that we have in our students. But it really is something that we love about the school, and we love having that freedom. And I do think they feel safe. But I think that's a great thing to continue to ensure, because this world is just,
it's a very different world.
Yes, very different world.
And we have great. I think we're in a place in the world that we would worry less than other places you might be. I mean, certainly coming from Dallas is a really different environment, but you never want to feel complacent about these things. This is just an area you just can't. So
exactly,
and we just got to keep moving forward.
Right, and it's something I think our parents see, that how much thought we're putting into it, but it's something that has been ongoing for years. Really, the constant conversations on how we can improve, how we can adjust. Because our goal is to keep every student, every faculty member here safe.
That's right.
And like you said, have them go home each night. I mean, that's the goal.
That's my goal.
So I think
first goal I have every day.
So I think it's wonderful that we are continuing to look and examine, and we're so grateful for parents who are willing to support.
So grateful.
So anything else, like if you're thinking ahead as far as things you're implementing, but I know it's like you've just gotten here, but like what other things might we have to look forward to this year?
So security wise, or just in general?
In general.
Well, let me say one quick other thing about security, because one of the things I've learned is I got a new phone. And again, I'm not working for this company, and I have no vested interest in them. But one of the problems we've had on this campus, despite the fact that we have a cell tower on campus, is we have terrible cell reception.
We do, yeah.
And I did get a new phone, and I signed up with T-Mobile, and I get cell reception everywhere perfectly.
Seriously?
So Verizon, I'm sorry. AT&T, I'm sorry, but T-Mobile is, if you really want to, if you want to get cell reception on this campus, T-Mobile's the way to go. So I'll move on.
There you go.
As far as other things,
make a note of that.
As far as other things go, I don't know. I mean, I mean, because you've been part of these conversations around the leadership table. But we're really not doing much that parents and alums are going to see. We're doing a lot of things internally right now, just tweaking and tightening some screws and making sure that we are using tried and true processes here at Brookstone, and that's for the most part that's always been the case here. So I think that it's really an opportunity for me to ask a lot of questions and to hear the answers and understand where we might need to sew up some edges and things like that. But it really it's I don't think people are going to see a ton of change between now and next fall. Now, next fall, I expect we're going to embark on some, once we get done the self-study that we're doing this year, and what comes out of that, I think you'll see us embark on some projects and I'm not. It's hard for me right now to predict what those will be. And I do. I mean, I want to create a vision, and I'm getting there, but I still feel like it's too early for me to predict exactly what that vision will be. I mean, I know the vision is pretty exciting, but and I'm excited for that opportunity to share that vision with the community.
For sure, yes. Well, before we wrap it up, thinking, I know you were here last time, so I've already asked you some of my favorite questions that I love to ask people, but I'm curious, a person that has had a huge impact on you, someone that you really admire. I'd love to hear that story, for you to share that.
So, I have a lot of people in my life. It's just a lot in so many aspects of my life. I mean, I have my parents. I mean, my mother, my stepfather, my dad, my stepmother, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law have just been hugely influential in my life and been incredibly important. My siblings have been incredibly important to me. And so when I think about that question, I've also had great mentors in this life, and I mentioned that earlier in terms of my career. But probably the most recent important mentor for me was the head of school at ESD, where I came from. His name is Dave Bod, and the longer I do this job, the more I appreciate him. But also just, I mean, some things that I learned that I hope that people are feeling here from me. His values-driven leadership. That's really hard today. It's really hard. Our society does not lend itself well to holding steady on your core beliefs. It's too easy to change direction with the wind anytime something happens, and so the way that he is able to. I mean, it got to the point where I could ask him a question and I knew exactly what his answer was going to be. And I want to be that way. I want people, when they ask me a question, just to it be a confirmation of what they think I'm going to say rather than a wait and see. But one of the things he also did that I just really appreciated was he was my biggest cheerleader in this process. And what that demonstrated to me was the value that he put on leadership development. And I think we as independent schools in this world, that's really a big priority for us all. And particularly at Brookstone, I mean, we want to develop leaders, and that shouldn't just be about our students. That should be about our adults too. And I think we have got great programs in place for our students to develop as leaders. I want to ensure that the faculty who have interests and desire to develop, I want to make sure that I'm their biggest cheerleader as well. I want to make sure I'm giving them opportunities and giving them meaningful work to do to that end. So for me, those are two takeaways from him that I hope I bring to Brookstone. And there's more, but and there's more mentors I've had in my life that have just been that if they saw me now, they would say, "I know where you got that." whether it's a saying or a mannerism or a way in which I handle a conversation or whatever it might be. So I appreciate the question because it's a really good process to think about that who's been important in your life,
Right.
because I mean, there's a piece of everybody in me,
Yeah.
everybody I've come in contact with.
Oh,
And
so true.
and so, it's just a question of what you see or what somebody else sees and when they see it. And trust me, there's some parts that aren't worth seeing too, that aren't so pretty, that I've also gotten from people.
Don't we all?
but but I'm just so grateful to everybody in my life who's been influential and taken the time to care about me and to share with me what's important and model greatness.
Right. I love that. That's awesome. Well, thinking back to our Blanchard Leadership Institute, one of the things I love that Mr. Blanchard is known for saying is locking arms and lifting each other up. And I love that. And I really do think we do that here at Brookstone, for students, but also for colleagues. And I just feel everybody we have the privilege to work with is really for each other and really will do anything they can to make each other successful, because ultimately it's all about building up the school, but it is really personal too. Like, you really do feel like people are cheering you on.
I think sometimes we, as humans, we create a narrative that we're somehow in competition, or
Right.
or we're somehow in opposition to one
Right.
another. But I mean, the best schools are those who have the same. We're all pulling on the rope
Right.
in the same direction,
Exactly.
and we all have the same interest, which is the
Exactly.
success of these kids.
Right.
And
Right.
if we care about the kids and we care about each other, and
Right.
and you're exactly right, Avery. It's a really. I don't have a lot of experience outside of education,
Right.
so I can't say this for certain, but I do believe we're unique in that way,
Yeah.
and we're such a human endeavor that if you're not in that place, it can be really corrosive,
Right.
and
Right.
And I know there are there's schools like that, unfortunately. Don't
So-
feel that here at all.
No, nor do I. So I'm grateful we're not one of those.
That's
for
right.
sure.
That's right.
Well, I'm so glad you took the time
No,
to
thank you.
to
Thank
visit
you.
with us. And I didn't even mention, this is kind of a good halfway point, because in January or sometime in the early spring, you're going to do for us a state of the school.
Yeah,
right?
I'd like to do it in January, February. And so, the typically the most miserable time of the year in the school cycle. So I'm hoping that will be uplifting.
Very uplifting. Yes, perfectly
no,
timed.
it's no, I'm excited about that opportunity to speak to the parents and the community, alums, grandparents, former faculty. I mean, I hope we get a great crowd of people who care about the
sure we
school,
will.
and to be able to speak to what we're doing and what
Right.
we've done and where we're going, and to be able to give people an opportunity to ask questions that are on their mind
Right.
too, and maybe not sort of in the town hall style, but
Right.
but maybe prepared questions that I can weave into what I say. But
Right.
but hopefully it's a great event, and I'm excited about that opportunity. It's, again, anytime in my mind, anytime we have a chance to bring together Brookstone people in one place,
Agree.
it's a win, regardless of the outcome.
Right. I totally agree. So
Just
I'm
like
really
tonight, just like
Yeah.
tonight, regardless of the outcome.
You got it.
It's
That's
a win.
right. Go Cougs. It's going to be a win.
That's
It
right.
is already a win. But I'm really excited about that too. And I think it'll be a really great thing to incorporate into our school calendar. Just a good check-in point and kind of like a family meeting.
right.
So
That's right.
so I really am excited you're doing
Good,
that.
good.
I think
I'm
it's going to be
glad.
great.
Hope so.
So,
so.
well, thank you for being
Thank you
here.
so much, Avery. And thanks to everybody in this community. I just was writing a note, and I probably should do a newsletter at some point on how bad my handwriting is. But,
Oh my gosh, please.
But it's brutal. But just writing a note to someone and just realizing how grateful I am to everybody in this community for the warm welcome to Columbus and to Brookstone, and my family is feeling the collective arms around us, and it's just been really nice. And I hope that people can feel like we're in a place where they don't have to anymore. But it's just I don't know. I think that's in the DNA here.
Yeah.
And so just really grateful for that.
Well, great. Well, we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
All of you. So, all right. Well, we're going to have you back again soon.
Good. Can't wait.
Okay.
Yeah. Look forward to it. Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks,
Thank
Avery.
you.